Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Money Matters Top Tips for Success, where each and every day I bring on new business owners, entrepreneurs, and executives and have them share their top tips for success with you. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres. Keep up with my book releases, book tour schedule, signings, all that other good stuff. Always love to connect with you there. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a co-author of one of my upcoming books, just head on over to the website, moneymatterstoptips.com, and click on Become an Author to apply. All right, so today I have Blake Freeman on the line, and he is the creator and founder over at HAIBU, which is an animation series that teaches kids the importance of saving the animals around the world. Blake, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So I'm excited to get more into what you're doing as creator and founder over at HAIBU. But before we do that, let's get a little bit further into your background. So how did you get started in your career and in business?
So I'm a huge fan of Los Angeles, which is where I live now. But I grew up in Nashville, Tennessee, which is, it's a good town and the people are great, but there's not enough for them to do. So I feel like everybody's living in your business. I feel like LA's a little bit too much for that to happen. Too busy, and I like it out here. No, I'm just kidding. I love Nashville. I just out of college, I started working in corporate insurance for a company called Marsh McLennan, which is one of the largest companies. Them and Aon are kind of the tops in that business. And I left there and started my own company and did a lot of work in the turnaround management space with some CEOs and CFOs that were bouncing around, and they were buying and selling companies, and I was coming in and helping them rebrand and retool. And then we eventually sold that company, and I was, I had just hit 30 years old, and I said, man, am I going to die on this golf course in Nashville, Tennessee? I mean, it's got to be something bigger out there for me. And I'm playing a lot of golf, by the way, which is code for on board, especially there. And then just decided to say, why not just, nobody's really keeping score in life, just reach for the most unattainable brass ring there is. And I just said that, maybe as an actor or director, which I knew nothing about either one of them. So I created a show, and myself and one of my buddies, the only guy I knew that could actually work a video camera. I called him and said, hey, do you want to make a TV show? He said, well, why not? I'm bored. I think he was welding. I think he was welding at the time. 3 months later, fast forward, we had sold the show at MTV, and here we were making a television series, which eventually we sold again to True TV. And long story short, we moved out to LA together, and he's no longer welding. He's a producer of film and TV, and we've made 5 shows and 4 movies. The most recent feature film that's out is I'm the lead in it with Eddie Griffin and Danny Trejo. And we go to Colombia to capture a drug lord, and we don't know what we're doing. So it's comedy-based, and I directed it as well. And we're in discussion for the sequel already. It's called All About the Money. It's actually on Amazon Prime. So long story, I hope I cut it short enough, but that's kind of the world. And once I got out here, I was like, wow, man, I don't know what I'm doing. And I figured out that no one really knows what they're doing. They're just going with the flow. So what we try to do is apply a business sense to making movies. And I realized that separates me from about 98% of everybody else in this business, which they like to buy a Ferrari on other people's money before their movie actually does well. And we kind of just flipped that script a little bit and said, you're not going to get paid unless these movies actually perform. And they're paid minimal, but they'll be bonus as it performs. And people bought into it, and it's worked for us so far.
Man, what an amazing story. So you are an entrepreneur that definitely leads by doing, to say the least. And I get that from your voice and from your story. That being said, there's some younger entrepreneurs or people that are just getting started. They're maybe where Blake was at when you were just getting out there and starting to link up with those first group of CEOs you were working with. What kind of advice would you give that new entrepreneur that's really just getting out there and getting their feet wet in business?
Well, everybody says I'm going to do this by myself and own this by myself. I lose that thought process because it's extremely difficult to do anything by yourself. You're going to need help. And the way I look at it, if you're in sales, if you're a personal financial advisor, I would find anyone else to hook your caboose to, or whatever you call it, whatever a good analogy is to that. But I mean, I would look for, insurance agents that handle corporate America, where you can get into the CFOs and CEOs that are making money, or, if you're in a different kind of sales, find something that's similar to so that you can partner with somebody in some way, shape, or form that you guys can work together, because I did that the entire time, and it made it a lot easier. One, you're getting your world of database opened up to you that you don't currently have, and you're getting direct introduction. So I just, in business, I just in sales, because that's kind of where I was from, and I find myself still doing sales every single day, even when I'm directing film. I'm selling somebody on something that they need to believe in to get that end product, or I'm selling somebody on why we should make that movie. I just feel like, you're constantly selling in life.
So let's switch it up a bit, Blake. I want to get into HAIBU and what you're doing there. So first, tell me a little bit more about the community and the experience that you're building there.
So HAIBU is it's a children's IP. So much like Peppa Pig, where it's a television series, it's a book series. We're a book series right now. Anywhere books are sold, the HAIBU books are sold. And it's about a story about a little girl who can find out she can speak to animals, and then she makes it her life mission to save animals, worldwide and globally. And it's wild animals. That's our focus. And we've partnered with Wild Aid just because the illegal wildlife trade and the destruction that's going on in that world it's detrimental to, one, the environment. It's detrimental to what's going on to the depletion of the numbers of these animals. And the endangered species, and we felt, wow, something like Peppa Pig, which is a children's IP, and it's making $1.5 billion a year, but it's not doing anything impactful whatsoever. It's only entertaining. What if we were also entertaining? We were entertaining first, but there was an underlying ability to also impact these kids in a positive way. Like, how much good could we do? Now, we are a for-profit company. I'm not saying say we're a nonprofit. Nonprofits are not the best in making content, by the way. So what we're doing is, as a for-profit entity, we do different partnerships like a Wild Aid, and then we gave them equity stakes into our business, so that when we win, they win. And so it's an exciting thing. It's taken off for us. It's really awesome. We're right now in production on the 26-episode animated series. And we're super excited about that for television. It'll be in over 200 countries. And it's HAIBU, HAIBU. And before you ask, the name doesn't mean anything. I wish I had something special to tell you. I said, man, this is a great name, so we took it. But anyway, it's been great for us, and we're excited to see where it goes. And on a business side of it, it makes a lot of business sense. Disney's not out there lending their IP for free to all of these great things that need to be done that could actually catch the attention of some of these children and make a difference. And, we are. And we just had an article in the paper just a week and a half ago that we've partnered with the Department of State in Washington for certain PSAs. We just did the Zoo Hackathon, which is great. And it was where they brought in coders from all over the world in each different countries. And what they were doing is creating apps over the course of a weekend, trying to get the best minds in the technology business, how to create these apps that can actually help combat illegal wildlife trade and kind of stop this thing. So it was a great thing for us to partner with, and HAIBU was kind of the face for that, and she will be in the future, and several other things. We got back from China. We had met with the Minister of Education. We also just got back from Tokyo 2 weeks ago, and we have some big things building there as well. So we're super excited. But, on a business front, it makes sense to do as an investment, and it makes sense to make sure that it is impactful and that we can do something about it. And, look, Blackstone was like, look, everything that we're going to invest in has to be some sort of impactful way for humanity. And, we created that, and it was right on the heels of that announcement too. So it's exciting. I just think putting a little bit of thought into some of these things and you can make a lot more money, especially in the entertainment business. I think more people are concerned with telling a story, and whether that story may be something that's kind of that doesn't have a life after the movie, meaning it doesn't have a toy on the shelves or it doesn't have a T-shirt that resonates with people. I feel like you just need to branch out just a little bit more and try to make your project bigger than just the story itself, especially if you want to make any money at it and you want to stay in the business for a while.
Man, I love that, and I love the entire ecosystem that you built around HAIBU, and it really does have that feel. And it's obvious that like your theme of partnering, and now partnering also to make a difference. And when you think about something like a Peppa Pig or something like that, I mean, which every kid out there, I even know what it is from visiting my buddies. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, they did that little thing that LER was making me listen to was making $1.5 billion. I had no idea. So, but
1.5 billion a year.
A year. I'm sorry, a year. So
years, yeah.
So that being said, I didn't know that, number one, but number two, I'm now just in retrospect, I'm thinking, gosh, imagine if when I was sitting there with LER, he was also learning a lesson or learning about animals and learning about, how to save them and this bigger problem that's out there in the world. I mean, what a meaningful impact that has. So, I mean, you've really created something in HAIBU to where we can all rally behind it, which I think is an amazing thing.
Awesome.
So, Blake, if somebody's listening to this and they want to learn more and kind of get indoctrinated into this HAIBU Nation, which how do they reach out? How do they learn about this?
So it's at HAIBU Saves Animals is our social media handles, and that's on Instagram, and she's got a bigger following on Facebook. But we're growing both. We really start kicking out. Now, we've been at this for 2 years. It's really just launching like right now as we speak. So you can go to haibu.love, www.haibu.love, and then you can learn a lot more about it right there from the site itself. And you can reach me at Instagram at the Blake Freeman, THE Blake Freeman, or at facebook.com/Blake Freeman. And I'll be happy to answer any questions and ideas. And if you want to get involved somehow, just let me know. By the way, this also grew. HAIBU grew from just the animals. Now she's the face for conservation for all types. Like we just partnered with the Plastic Coalition of, I believe it's of global. I can't remember the entire. But anyway, she's now going to be. We're going to be working hand in hand and be the face for a lot of those things for the ocean cleanup. And so that's very cool. And so what we would like to do is eventually as kids grow older and that when they hear HAIBU or they see her in an entertainment space, that they also remember what they've learned on the education side. And we also have an educational portal that is launching as well within the school systems in the U.S. and in China. So we're super excited about that. And, we don't want to educate them when they get home from school all the time. There will be an underlying meaning and message in each one of those episodes, or in the feature film that we're doing as well. All of those things will have that message, but you can't bore them with constant education, or anyone would get tired of that. So you have to be clever about it, and I think that's what we're doing now.
Oh, that's
and we're
awesome.
open to ideas from anyone. So.
Fantastic. Well, hey, Blake, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great work you're doing with HAIBU to spread the message. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave me a review on the Apple iTunes Store, share this with your friends and family. Do all those great things we do to support our podcasters. I really do appreciate it. And, Blake, thanks again for coming on the show.